morning, welcome to Morning Expresso. You're watching Indian Express. I'm Charulata Biswas. Let's begin with the big story of the day. In a climb down from its earlier threat to impose a lifetime employment ban on job aspirants protesting against the alleged inaccurate results, the Ministry of Railways decided to put its recruitment drives on hold and reach out to the protesters. Sources said the decision was taken in view of the worsening law and order situation in the state of Bihar and over fears that the discontent would spread in poll-bound Uttar Pradesh. Meanwhile, in Bihar, protesters torched 4 empty coaches of a stationary train in Gaya and blocked rail traffic between Gaya and Jehanabad on Wednesday. Protests were also held in Patna, Bhagalpur and Sasaram. In UP, 3 policemen were suspended a day after a crackdown on a group of students who allegedly tried to stop a train in Prayagraj on Tuesday. Here are the stories you'll find only in Indian Express. Amid the Russian troops build-up at Ukraine's border, Delhi appears to be walking a tightrope as it is yet to issue an official statement on the matter. New Delhi doesn't want to jeopardize its equation with Moscow or upset the US and Europe, both important strategic partners. India is also conscious that the hostility between the West and Russia, with talks of sanctions being considered, is likely to push Moscow in the direction of Beijing, hence strengthening the Chinese. Let's have a look at the front page. With Jaats forming a substantial share of the population in the Uttar Pradesh assembly seats, which go to polls on February 10th, the BJP, led by Union Home Minister Amit Shah, reached out to Jaat leaders, saying the centre was always there for them even if they had issues with the state government. The BJP also reached out to Jayant Chaudhary, the chief of the Rashtriya Lok Dal (RLD), the foremost Jaat party in West UP that is fighting the elections in alliance with the Samajwadi Party (SP), hinting that the BJP's doors were still open to him. The entry of women into the armed forces has been a slow process, one that has even required judicial intervention. But at the Republic Day parade on Rajpath Wednesday, women officers, still few in numbers, stole the show. While several women officers led marching contingents, one of the highlights of the parade was the presence of the first woman pilot of the newly inducted Rafale fighter aircraft. The union government will likely come out with a system to rank ministries on facilitating ease of doing business by marking them on parameters such as single window clearance of projects, time taken to clear files per department, and the use of Digital India tools, among others, sources said. Here are the must-reads. Delhi University's Hansraj College is now home to a cow protection and research center called the Swami Dayanand Saraswati Gau Samvardhanam Anusandhan Kendra. According to the principal, the center will not just do research on various aspects of the cow. It will also provide pure milk and ghee for the students and for the monthly Havan, that is prayer ritual conducted on the campus. And then there were 2. The recent exit of Congress MLA RPN Singh and 4 others before him has left the party with only 2 remaining MLAs in UP. The spate of exits is symptomatic of a larger problem within the Congress. For a party desperately trying to stay in the fight, these exits are probably a sign that many of these leaders realized that the Congress's prospects in the state, at least in the near future, are bleak. Moving on, from veteran politicians, businessmen and scientists to artists and ordinary people engaged in public service, a total of 128 people were selected for the Padma Awards this year. While most accepted the award, some including former West Bengal CM Buddhadev Bhattacharjee refused to accept. We explain how these awards are given and whether the recipient's consent is sought. While 93-year-old Kalaripayattu master Sankara Narayana Menon is now finding it increasingly difficult to demonstrate the martial arts' intricate steps, Adavu, on a daily basis, the movements are no longer muscle memory but memory itself. After all, he has been practicing these very movements since he was just 7. This week, he was conferred the Padma Shri for his contributions to martial arts. He said, "I will continue teaching students as long as I'm alive. It's my duty." From stunning flypasts to a host of cultural performances, this year's Republic Day parade was arguably one of the grandest of all time. But it was an elite dark bay-colored horse named Virat that stole the show. Having served in the president's bodyguard for over a decade, Virat has attended 13 Republic Day parades. This one, however, was his last. President Ram Nath Kovind, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh paused briefly during the parade to bid farewell to the horse who is set to retire soon. And in today's Delhi Confidential, Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Wednesday chose J&K Police for praise among all police forces of the country that received gallantry medals this year. He tweeted, "J&K Police has been the spearhead of India's fight against terrorism." And finally, in today's episode of the Three Things podcast, we take a look at what RPN Singh's exit from Congress means for the party, India finally acknowledging that there is community transmission, and a Dalit groom becomes the first in his village to ride a horse during his wedding. That's a wrap from my end. For more news and updates, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, The Indian Express. Thank you for watching.